Hi there, thank you for joining this 30-minute session or class to improve flexibility, mobility and strength. So great for all of us, especially if we sit at a desk a lot or run a lot or cycle a lot or anything that we do a lot. This will help to increase the strength mainly, also help to loosen off ankles, and so all the way up the chain: ankles, knees, hips, shoulders. Okay, so we're going to start by doing some wide stance squats. So in yoga this is called the horse stance. So I'm not going to mention yoga too much because that can put us, well, some people it can put off. So we're just going with the wide kneed stance, so knees back and toes kind of at 10 to and 10 past if you're on the clock. Just kind of going up and down first, so lowering down and pressing into the feet to lift up. Lower down, so we feel a stretch in the hips and the legs, and then lift up and lower down and lift up. And a couple more, so we're creating the mobility and the flexibility gradually. We're increasing circulation in the hip area and the leg area. We're trying to draw our shoulders back and our chest forward. The chin is parallel to the floor. So lowering down once more and then heel raises. Create a bit of flexibility here in the ankle joint while strengthening our glutes, our hips, our thighs. So 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and hold and maybe pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into the feet to lift up slowly. Stepping the feet together, shaking out. Okay, so now a stretch for our ITB, which is that band that runs up from the outside of the knee up to the hip. So we often forget this bit, it's quite hard to stretch. So first of all, feet about hip width apart, stretch the hands up. And we take the hands over to the right and push the hip out to the left. And then centre, stretch up first. Breathe in and breathe out, take the hands over to the left and push your hips out to the right. Breathe in, centre, lift up, and then hands over to the right, hips to the left. Breathe in again, lift. Breathe out, hands to the left, push out. And one more, stretching up, hands over to the right. Stretch up again at the centre, hands over to the left. And stretch up one more time, breathe in, and then cross your right ankle over your left. Breathe in, grow taller, breathe out, hands to the hips, and then we're kind of folding forward, maybe keeping the knees a little bit soft. Folding forward, chest comes forward, and then if we can, we're drawing our fingertips down our legs, and we feel a stretch up the back of the legs, but also at the side of the maybe the right leg or the left leg. And take your hands over to the outside of the left leg. So your hands are over to the right, but it's your left foot. And then back to the centre, and then fingertips over to the left. Maybe you'll feel that stretch more in your outside of your right leg. And back to the centre. And tuck the chin in towards the chest, walk the fingertips slowly up the body, and bring our head up last. And cross the ankles, we'll change sides, so left foot over the right. Again, stretch up first of all, breathe in, stretch up tall, try and keep your balance. And then hands to the hips, draw the chest forward and fold. First of all, keep the back flat, and then go a bit further down, walk the hands down. So if we try not to lean back too much into the heels here, come forward, so at least
release, you can feel your toes pressing into the floor as well. And then walk the hands now over to the left. And back to the centre. And then fingertips over to the right. Remembering not to lean back into your heels too much. And back to the centre. Lift up slowly, chin towards the chest, head comes up last, and shake out. So shaking out the legs. And then we're going to do a forward fold. So feet again, hip width apart, chest forward, shoulders back. Breathe in. Keep the hands on the hips for now, and bend the knees slightly. We're coming into a half forward fold. So we want to be pressing all parts of the feet into the floor, not just leaning back into the heels too much. Push the bottom back and slightly see if you can bring your chest forward slightly, and the back of your head is in line with your back. So we're not dipping the head forward. Okay, so press into the feet, bending the knees slightly, lift up slowly. Okay, so one more, breathe in, chest forward, shoulders back. Breathe out, tipping forward, so pushing the bottom back, chest forward, and here walk the hands down the legs. So we're still in the half forward fold, kind of making an L shape with the body, and then walking the legs down a bit further, trying to keep your spine straight for now. Breathe in, chest forward, and breathe out. Now bringing the chin towards the chest and allowing the crown of the head to come down towards the floor, and the elbows can go out to the side. Again, just check what's happening with your feet. So try and lift the toes off the floor, separate the toes, and then press the toes down. Feel the weight, feel the grounding down into the floor with your feet. Press into the feet, bend the knees slightly, chin towards the chest, and lift up slowly, bringing the head up last. Okay, so next we're doing a similar movement as the deep squat. So toes out to the side. This time we're squatting down, and we're bringing the hands just underneath the face. So hands about shoulder width apart, and we're going side to side. So walk the hands over to the right with the left leg straight. And then hands back to the centre, bend both legs, and then keep the left leg bent, straighten the right leg, hands over towards the left hand side. So moving quite slowly from side to side. When your hands come, say, to one side, the opposite leg is straight. And back to the centre, both legs are bent. And back to the left side, the right leg is straight. And one more each side. Working through that mobility. Notice where you're feeling a stretch each time you bend or straighten your legs. So it's kind of a mind-body connection and awareness of where we're feeling stretches or tension, or sometimes a little bit of limited mobility. So back to the centre, press into the feet and lift up slowly. And shake out the shoulders, step the feet together. So one more standing stretch. This time again it's mobility and balance and stretching. So it's the hip circles. So lifting up your right knee and drawing the knee back. Might feel a bit of clunking in our back. So we're loosening off the discs in the back. So now taking the knee forward. 3, 2, and 1. And then strength for the standing leg, and balance, core awareness. So drawing our abdominals in. Chest forward, shoulders back, chin parallel to the floor. And the foot resting either in your left ankle or your left shin or your left upper thigh. Make sure we keep our foot away from that left knee joint.
Keep that knee back if you can. Tummy in. So we'll take 3 breaths here. So we want to do full breathing to increase our lung capacity. So as you breathe in, the tummy expands. As you breathe out, draw the tummy in. Breathe in, tummy expands. Breathe out, tummy in. One more, breathe in, tummy out. Breathe out, tummy in. So it's kind of opposites. Okay, and release the right foot to the floor, shake out the legs, and then we'll go to the opposite side. So pressing the right foot into the floor. Can keep that core engagement with the hand on the tummy if you want to. So first of all, the knee rotations to loosen off the back and the hips. So lifting the knee up and back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then opposite way, so knee goes back and over. So imagine you're lifting your leg over a gate or a stile. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and into the tree. So the left foot is either into your right ankle, your right shin, or the right upper thigh. So pressing into your right foot, we can grow taller. We're trying to keep our left knee out to the side, drawing our chest forward, our shoulders back, and practicing that deep abdominal breathing again. So 2 more breaths in and out, in and out. And release the left foot to the floor, shaking out. So now coming onto all fours. So going into some variations of lunges. So there's these in some versions of yoga. In yin yoga they're called dragons. And these are really the best thing for opening our hip flexors and opening the hips. Great for the back, great for posture. So first of all, right knee comes forward in between the hands. Try to just edge your right toes a little bit more forward. And then see, you can either press your fingertips into the floor or bring the hands onto the right thigh and draw our chest forward, shoulders back. So with these type of stretches, you can either be more mobile and more dynamic, or you can be static. You can hold these stretches anything from 30 seconds up to, say, 3 minutes, as long as you feel comfortable. So next, bring your left hand so it's underneath your left shoulder. Stretch the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Then we can take that right knee in and out. So as it comes in, the right foot's flat on the floor. As the right knee goes out, you can come onto the outer edge of your right ankle. So do these for mobility in our hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly bring the right hand down, outside your right foot. And then we're going to gently stretch our hamstrings. So we're coming forward first, breathing in, chest forward. Breathing out, taking the hips back onto the right heel. And the right leg is straight or straightish. Still trying to push your bottom back and keep your chest forward. We'll intensify the stretch up the back of that right leg. So coming forward, breathing in, breathing out, taking the foot back. And 3 or 4 more. Breathe in, lift forward. Breathe out, hips back. coming back again, and then to stretch on the outside of the right leg, we can take our hands over to the right hand side and we can take our toes to the right side. So slowly back forward, so hands outside your right foot. And then one more stretch now for the calves, which sometimes is very effective. So we're drawing our right heel back as far as we can, but we want to keep our right heel on the floor. And we're kind of draping our chest over our right thigh. So if you're not feeling much of a stretch in your calf, maybe some self-massage by pressing the thumbs into any tight areas. Okay, and then slowly lifting up and taking the right foot back and the right knee down to the floor. So changing sides, so stepping the left foot in between the hands. So first of all we can stay here in a low lunge or a low flying dragon that we call it. Chest forward, shoulders back. And then one hand at a time onto the left thigh. So here again we can keep it static or we can pulse, which we didn't do the other side, but it's another option. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We can still draw our chest forward. We can see if we can ease the hips a little bit lower. And bringing the right hand to the floor and then stretching the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then doing that movement for the hip, so taking the left knee out to the side, coming onto the outer edge of your left foot, and then back in. So we can do that 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and back, and lower the left hand outside your left foot, and then taking the hips back, right back with the left heel on the floor, toes towards the face. So here noticing if you can feel a stretch up your left leg, maybe your calf or your hamstring, try and push your bottom back and your chest forward. And then for that ITB stretch, turn the toes out to the left and walk your hands over to the left. Still trying to bring the toes towards your face. The left leg can be straight or slightly bent. And hands coming forward again, outside of the left foot, and left foot back and left knee down. So coming now onto our bottom, so we'll do some bit more mobility for our hips, so feet apart, knees apart, hands out at the side. Just taking the knees down to one side, knees to the other side. So as we take our knees down a couple more times, keeping the feet apart, knees apart, and then with your left shin towards the left, we're kind of folding over the left shin. So we can keep the hands on the floor we can bring our elbows down. So keeping a little bit of external rotation on your right hip here. We can also do a gentle twist by walking our hands or our elbows over to the left. So we're facing to the left. And then hands walk forward again, and hands out either side, and then a bit more of the mobility. So try and keep chest forward, knees side to side. And now taking the knees down to your right hand side and walking the hands over the right shin. So again, you can bring your elbows down. Press the hands into the mat, chest forward. Then we can walk our hands back now, so we're facing the right hand side. And again, you can press your hands into the floor, lifting your chest forward, or you could release down onto the elbows. Hands forward, hands back, and stretch out both legs, shaking out the legs. So we're going to do a twist here for the back. So a reclining twist, great for the back, great for mobility, and keeping it dynamic. So arms are out like a T-shape, stretching the fingertips away. And then just adjusting the spine so you can feel the whole of your back into the floor. Both shoulders down into the floor. Knees together and feet together. And we're taking our knees down to the right hand side. So we feel a stretch up the outside of the back of the left side, or maybe your left hip. And back to the centre again, adjusting the spine, making sure our back is resting on the floor, then knees down to your left. Extending those fingertips away. Knees slowly to the centre. And then bringing both knees into the chest. A few movements of stretching the one leg out and hugging one knee into the chest. And then changing sides, so left knee into the chest, right leg along the floor. And change sides. So can keep it static again or mobile. Knees in towards the chest. If you want to work your core a bit, you can engage the abdominals and keep the stretched out leg lifted a couple of inches off the floor. And then from here, we're going to do an inversion, so it's pushing the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, taking the hands behind the legs. And here we can also do our legs up the wall, which is great for rejuvenating ourselves, also great for our back. So that's one choice. I'll just show you another choice for a back stretch, which is the forward fold. So this is great to soothe the nervous system.
help us to think about rest and digest, calming our mind, calming our breathing, also reducing blood pressure, reducing heart rate. So you could stay with the legs up in the air or the legs out straight on the floor, and I'll also show you the legs up the wall. So rolling my mat over, so I've got a bit of cushioning from the back, and I take my hips as close to the wall as I can, and then lie back a little bit and then stretch the legs up the wall. So I can do this for between 2 and about 15 minutes every day. So we've got about another 5 minutes. You can also stretch your arms above the head to open up the chest, to counteract the things that we do a lot of, like reading books, looking at our phones and sitting at desks, driving. Or if it doesn't feel comfortable, you can have your hands out at the side with the palms up. So you could keep your legs up the wall, or you could bring your feet into butterfly, which is the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the side. So if you've got your legs out straight on the floor, you can do butterfly as well by bringing the soles of the feet together. And then one more stretch up with legs up the wall is stretching out the legs and taking the feet wide apart. And again, you could do this if you're seated. And bring both feet back together and hug the knees in towards the chest, knees side to side. Slowly bring our knees down to the right hand side and pause there a moment and press into the hand to lift up slowly. Okay, thank you, thanks for joining, and hope you enjoyed that, and maybe next week we'll do a full 30 minutes of legs up the wall. Okay, bye.